Tyler Fitzgerald is on with us right now, and all guests on 95.7 The Game appear on the River Islands guest line, including this guy, last night's hero. I know he may not love that because I heard him last night say you ought to be talking to Brett Wisely. He got the big hit, but that's okay. Darn it, we're talking to you, Tyler Fitzgerald. Congratulations and welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on here. I'm excited.
Yeah, can you take us through the highs and lows of yesterday? And I mean that both before the game and during it.
Yeah, a lot going on, especially with someone I look up to so much, and Nick Ahmed, getting let go by us. It opened the door for me, but at the same time, it was sad to see him leave. I kind of had put a little pressure on myself. The first game, getting the start at short, started off a little slow in the game, but it's not really how you start, right? And we came out with the win, and I'm just thankful we could pull it together in that ninth.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And let's talk about the finish before we get back to the start. And you're on the bases. And when you're on the bases, do you feel like you're a threat to grab 90 feet at any time? And tell me about that last 90 feet you got when the ball hits the dirt and you kind of realize that you're about to score the walk-off run or the runoff run, so to speak.
Yeah, I always feel like I can take the extra 90. I'm hoping to start doing it a little bit more, with a little bit more consistent playing time and just to be out there and get comfortable and get that confidence back on the base pass is huge. So hopefully we see more of that. But, yeah, that was kind of what was going through my mind when I was there on third was just, he was throwing a bunch of change-ups, and that was one of the crazier change-ups I've ever seen. It was almost like a curveball. So I knew at any moment that thing could skip in the dirt and I could score. So I was just praying in my head that he would throw one in the dirt, and I guess I thought it to existence. So, it worked out perfect, and we had great at bats that whole ninth, and Tyro to even be able to get deep in that count just allowed that to happen, and everyone was just kind of passing the baton on to the next guy.
Tyler, obviously you're going to play a lot of shortstop now, but we know you have some positional flexibility, and I'm curious about your history. Like, what has usually been your position through your career?
Yeah, it's mainly been shortstop. So in 2021, I started getting mixed in at second, but that was like the first time in my whole career I tried something new. So high school and college, it was just shortstop, and then once I got to pro ball, and we had guys like Will Wilson and Luciano, and guys that were in the system a little bit ahead of me. I had to play some second and some third, and it wasn't until last year, midway through the year in AAA, where they were like, hey, we're going to throw you out in center field and see if you can run down some balls. And then fast forward to this year, and I'm playing a little bit of first, and, I'm pitching a couple blowout games, and it's just really been crazy. It's just something that, I'm hoping to get better, with time and with experience. And, sometimes I'm out there at short without playing there for a couple of weeks at a time, and it doesn't necessarily feel super comfortable, but with more reps, and when I go down to AAA and I play short the whole week, I feel great. I just think more reps and more experience, and I think it'll be good for me to kind of get out there and get comfortable and at shortstop again.
The only holes in your log right now are catcher and right field. Any chance we could see you complete the 9-position cycle, Tyler?
I almost caught actually in Philly. But, hopefully, man, I really hope I don't ever catch.
Wait a minute. What does that mean? I almost caught. Like, what happened?
Yeah. So this is when Pat Bailey went down with a concussion in like the first or second inning. And Murph was kind of going through a little knee issue. And so Pat went on the IL, and then Murph the next day hurt his knee. So if that would have happened a day before, I would have been in there catching against Philly, in the second or third or whatever inning it would have been. I was kind of freaking out. So I really hope that I hope not for my own sake, but for the pitcher's sake, I hope that doesn't happen, because I feel terrible, to kind of ruin one of their ERAs or something.
Love it. Tyler Fitzgerald of the Giants, obviously, and one of the heroes last night is with us here on Willard and Dibs 95.7 The Game. Tyler, I'm curious, to know what they told you. What did they tell you about this opportunity? What are you expecting over the next 3 to 4 weeks at least?
Kind of the same role for the most part I was in. But basically I think I just jumped one spot ahead in the depth chart. So instead of being the second infielder off the bench or whatever that may be, I might be the first, or, I'll be sprinkled in there at short against lefties and, maybe play second or short against a righty from time or two and still pinch run and maybe get a couple pinch hit opportunities. So it's not going to be, like an everyday role. Brett Wisely's playing great. Tyro's back now. So I'm not just like thrown in there. It's not like my job or anything, but there's definitely going to be a few more at-bats sprinkled in there, probably less, times of getting pinch hit for in the 6th or 7th. So, when I'm in there, hopefully I'm able to play all game. And, time will tell. It just kind of depends on how I play.
And you are a big part of this now youth movement with Wisely, and you got Matos and Ramos and all the rest of it. How neat is it to see Heliot Ramos get such a great start to his season and then now get the All-Star bid?
It's unbelievable. Really what he's doing is super fun to watch. Everybody knew how good Heliot was. Coming into spring training, I had a feeling he was going to go off, and, he had a slow spring training, and it was kind of shocking to everybody. And but man, he really just took his opportunity and ran with it. He did great in AAA for the first month, and he's done great here. So really, when a guy is this hot for this long, it's, that it's his preparation and just how hard he works is finally paying off. And it's incredible to see. And, his first couple of years in the show, he wasn't really showing this. So it's encouraging to guys like myself and the young guys that, like, hey, you know what, just because, like, if you don't do it your rookie year, there's a lot of positives that can come out of learning through the struggle, and just to see how he's bounced back this year is really encouraging.
Tyler, I'm just looking at what would sort of be the back of your baseball card, and there are a bunch of times through your minor league career where you've stolen north of 20 bases. What people may not know is there's also a bunch of times where you've hit north of 20 home runs as well. And obviously that was a big part of the comeback last night as well. Do you consider yourself a power hitter? Like how big of a part of your offensive game is that?
Yeah, I think it is a pretty big part of the game. Especially being, in the middle of the infield and being able to hit some homers. It's definitely why, I'm here right now. It's with consistent at bats, I always feel like I can get a little bit more power. But when I was playing once a week here early on, I was really just trying to get on base. But, I feel like with the more at bats I get, the more comfortable I get, that's when my power starts to come. And it was just great yesterday. My first 2 at bats. The pitcher, he was on last night, so he was throwing well. But I kind of got off my game plan. I was missing heaters that I usually crush. And that 3rd at bat, I was not going to let that happen again. So I was on the heater, and, it's a good learning moment for me to not get off my plan no matter what. So, I don't know really if I'll be able to repeat 20, but it's definitely in the tank.
Yeah, well, we're counting on you. So 2 down and 18 to go. So you hang in there, and we're pulling for you.
I'm counting my AAA ones too,
and we're going to count them for you, no doubt. What do you do when you're facing a guy throwing 96 or 97? Do you have to sit there and expect the heater, or else you're going to wind up being tardy?
Yep, and that's exactly what happened. My first 2 at bats, he spun me in a little curveball and then got me off my game plan. But the second at bat just didn't sit too well with me. I never really, off lefties at least, I never really missed 2 heaters down the middle in a row. So that was kind of shocking to me. I knew something was off. I went back and watched video. I was just super late. So my 3rd at bat, I was just trying to get the head out and be as early as possible on him.
Tyler, real quick, especially as a young guy, and the thought is, hey, can I stick and stay? I just want to be in the bigs. But now it looks like you guys are going to be here a while, and I wonder if you'd comment on the other side of the game, which is the team urgency. as far as making the playoffs. The trade deadline is coming. How would you describe the clubhouse urgency right now?
We're just taking it one day at a time, but we've played good ball the past couple of weeks. We really wish we would have gotten one more win on the road there. But really it's just getting over this 500 hump. We want to have a winning record, we just can't seem to get over it. But as far as the trade deadline and all the moves that are happening, guys aren't, you can't be too worried about that. We have to be focused on tonight. And, when we wake up tomorrow, we're going to be focused on the game tomorrow. So everything else is noise, really. And, when you play 162 games, you got to just have to focus on, where your feet are. So there's definitely some urgency. We do believe we're playing, pretty good right now. Yesterday we definitely had some opportunities to kind of put that game away, but, we came out with the win, and that's all that matters.
You in the lineup tonight?
I'm not tonight, but, I'll probably be in there at some point.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, man, fun to get to know you a little bit. Congrats on last night and the opportunity. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here anytime.
All right, there it is.
There he is.